They are legendary animals, mostly for the wrong reasons.
I always wonder, what is it like to be a bat?
Swooping up and down during the night.
How do they really perceive the world through their echolocation?
They are as misunderstood as any member of the natural world.
They're amazing creatures.
Their appearance has sold millions of movie tickets and scared countless people, but their true importance is much less known.
People just don't realize how many of these, insects that are flying around in our faces. They're gobbling up those insects, and so that makes it nicer for us. And they're an enormous part of the ecosystem.
Good enough reason to bring over 100 scientists and volunteers to Roan Mountain State Park for a 4-night Bat Blitz. They'll capture bats, check their species and size, and release them, but not before a reminder about removing any animal from the state.
And it may be very, very, very tempting to you to pick one of those animals up and take it with you wherever you're going, Utah, California, Michigan, wherever, but you have to have a permit to take the animal from the state.
The bats are captured by erecting a mist net, like untangling a fishing line, as someone described it.
Is that too much?
TWRA biologist Kirk Miles and intern Casey Pittman are stretching this net across Hampton Creek, knowing that water attracts bats at night.
I believe I see it right there.
Hampton Creek Cove's beauty reveals itself as the sun sets, but the bats are a no-show.
I need 2 9-meters and a 6-meter.
You need bat bags?
Next night, we're at an old homestead called the Miller Farm, part of the state park. There's a barn, and there are bats roosting there.
In the summer, they like really warm, dry places to roost. So that's why we're getting them in this barn.
If you'll stay right here, it'll be fine.
There's also a pond on the property where TWRA biologist Chris Simpson is stretching a net.
They're going to swoop down over this pond, and naturally the insects are going to be attracted to the water, and which draws the bats in. The bats are going to come to the pond to feed, and they're going to swoop down in the pond and get a drink of water.
Let go. Let go.
Back at the barn, the high-pitched chirping of a netted bat means they're beginning their night flights.
One of the good things about the bats that we're catching tonight is we're catching both adults and juveniles, which, that means they're reproducing and doing well. We're catching a lot of bats, which is another good thing.
One of the very important rules in going bat netting is always finding a great location. And this old barn way out in the country here in Carter County, as we saw earlier, is just that. Most of the bats caught here are northern long-ears.
They probably are important just from the fact that they're one of the more abundant bats and one of the more common bats you see.
On this evening, 30 bats are caught at the old homestead.
We've got reproduction, abundance, and hopefully if we catch some other species, we'll have diversity, which is kind of the things that would show you the bats are doing well.
And at the pond,
a red bat.
Oh, beautiful.
There's some bat diversity.
They're fairly common, but they roost in trees in the summertime, and they hang upside down. They look like a shriveled up red oak leaf hanging from a tree.
Just one fascinating detail in the life of an incredibly important animal that often doesn't get the respect it deserves. I'm Alan Griggs on Tennessee's Wild Side.